Today we're going to be making a plum pie, and we're also going to be processing some plums that I picked off my European plum tree. So these are the plums that I picked this morning, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them. So I don't typically wear gloves when I'm cutting my plums to make a dessert, but in this situation, I'm cutting plums to preserve them, and I'm going to be doing a lot of them. So I just decided to put these on just to make things easier. So all I'm going to do is cut my plums up into as many slices as I can, and I am going to put these in a cup here. I want to gather 4 cups of freshly cut plums. Now, I actually went and picked and cleaned these this morning off of my tree. So they're about as fresh as you can get, and they're very ripe. As you can see, they're very beautiful plums, and these are extremely sweet plums. So let me get the plums cut up for our pie, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I have my 4 cups of plums. To this, I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. Now, this is just quarter cups in here, so it fits into my sugar bowl, but I'm going to go ahead and add this. There we go. And to that, I'm going to add some lemon juice. Now, this is freshly squeezed lemon juice that I had from a project I did yesterday. So I'm just going to pour that right into my plum mixture. And then I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch. Now, I know this is a lot of cornstarch, but the reason I'm putting in this cornstarch is because this is going to make a ton of juice. It really is. So I want to make sure that we're eating plum pie and not plum soup. So then what I'm going to do is just mix all this mixture up, this plum mixture. I want to make sure that the sugar and the cornstarch is really well incorporated into these plums. Looks so good. Oh my goodness, this is going to be delicious. If you like berry pies and things like that, which I do, they're actually my favorite types of pie, then you're gonna love a nice plum pie. Now, if you don't have these dark European plums, you can still make them from the regular Santa Rosa or any of the other plums you get at the store. These are just the ones that I have from my tree. I'm gonna take this off. Now that I'm done with this messy project. Okay, for the topping, we're gonna put in a cup of oats, and I've added about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to that. I've got a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of flour, and I've also got a little bit of cinnamon I'm gonna mix in with that. And then I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of vanilla. This is my homemade vanilla. Put a little bit of that in there. And then I have 1 cup of butter cut into cubes that I'm just going to throw all together. And again, I'm going to be mixing this with my hands, kind of like I do a pie crust. Now, you could also put this in a food processor, whatever works for you. Now, I've got some cold butter, so this is going to take just a minute to get this going, but it works out really good. I think this is about the texture I want. This looks pretty good. I've got some bigger pieces, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. The butter will melt as soon as we get it in the oven. I've got my oven preheating right now to 350 degrees. So right now I'm just going to put this right on top of my pie. And as you can see, it's just a crumbled top. This is nothing really, really difficult. You're gonna make a nice topping for this pie. So there you go. I've got my topping. I'm just gonna kind of layer it out a little bit. I just want it to cover as much of the pie as possible. And There you go. That's how it looks. I'm gonna put a couple of these bigger pieces in the middle just so we have enough butter that's melting into this delicious pie. Oh my gosh. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just process the rest of these plums. So it may seem like a lot of work, but I'm telling you, come winter when we wanna have a plum pie or some plum pudding for Christmas, these are gonna be just like the day we took them out. So the reason that I put them separate on a pan like this is because I have found that it's very easy to freeze them after they've been flash frozen. So that's what this is called when you don't throw all the fruit into a bag and freeze it. Now, you can do that too, but this is the way I choose to do it. And it's really more if I decide to use it for ice cream or smoothies or something like that, I'll have them individually frozen. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut up all these plums. It's a lot of plums, but tomorrow when they're frozen, I'm gonna put them into vacuum sealed bags. I'm gonna pre-measure them with 4 cups in each one, and then I'm gonna have everything ready to go. So this is my second tray of plums. I've got a piece of plastic over the top. So out of those plums, I have about 10 extras that we can eat. And then I've got all these that I'm gonna freeze, 2 beautiful trays. I figure it's gonna give me several cups of plums that we can use throughout the year. Well, here's my yummy pie. I'm gonna try to get a close-up so you can see this all bubbling and delicious. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Can't wait to try some of that. Now this pie is gonna set up a little bit more, and I'm gonna wait for it to cool down because I don't like eating hot lava. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun. I still have so many plums, but I think the rest are for my friends and neighbors. So have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.